Hi everybody. Today is time to try out my new walking plow that I just purchased. I started the garden and I plowed it with my riding plow for several furrows to have a nice straight furrow to go on. And now I'm just getting Ken and Buck hitched up and we're going to try this thing. I used to plow a fair amount back 40 years ago, 35 years ago, but I haven't used a walking plow since then, so it's been a long, long time since I've used a walking plow. And it's quite an art to running a walking plow, and I'm afraid it's not just like riding a bicycle. I don't think I can just jump right back in and do it that terribly good, but we're going to give it a try. I'm trying to get it set up here, and horses are a little bit anxious, and they're not standing perfect, but we'll see how it goes. I had to adjust my lines so I can put the lines around my back, but I'm finding out that these lines are a little bit short, and I'm going to have to go get some more another extension for them so I can tie them around my back. But we'll walk just a little ways and see how it goes. It looks like the plow might plow pretty good, but now I got to get some plow lines and get it set up.
Hey, calf stop. Calf stop. Oh. Oh.
So this plow is a Syracuse 822. It is a two-way plow, or some people call it a hillside plow. And what that means is at the end of the furrow, you actually can flip this plow around and turn completely around and go right back in the same furrow and go right on back through. Now this may sound easy, but what it means and what you need to have your horses do is each horse needs to walk the furrow, and so often when you're plowing you have a furrow horse and he's the one that wants to walk in the furrow and is used to walking the furrow. So now with myself, Buck is my furrow horse generally, and Ken doesn't walk in the furrow quite so much, although I have been working them in the furrow some because I've been using the other plow. And as you can see, as I'm swinging around here, they're confused. They don't know what to do, and because my lines aren't directly tight with them, I'm having a lot of slack lines than tight lines because of the way it's set up around my neck, that they're just confused. And so, but we get them swung around and get Ken in the furrow, and we head down the furrow again. And it wasn't too bad. So now we're flipping the plow around again. It's quite an act to even flip this plow around, and I used to think I used to do that really good, and now I'm having actually more difficulty than I thought I would have to make that happen. And so these guys are swinging around, but you'll see as they turn, my lines go completely slack because they tend to back up a little bit, and so I don't really have the control on the horses that I'd like to have. But they do okay. My plow is not set quite properly either. It's a very narrow plow. It's not a big plow like my riding plow. And so because of that, you have to have your unit adjusted just so. And it's set right now a little bit wider than it should be, so I'm actually cutting, when they're walking the furrow, I'm actually cutting a little bit more ground than I should be cutting for this particular plow. So here I'm trying to get them turned around again and swung around, and of course this is my worst side because I need to get Ken in that furrow, and he will walk the furrow, but it's just not something he's really used to. So Buck wants to jump in that furrow, so he kind of pushes Ken over so that he can be in the furrow, and it sure does make it difficult. And it's something that just time and practice will fix, but they just haven't done it much, so it's not that good. So as you're going down through this, plowing down through here, you need to twist your plow back and forth to control how your plow goes, especially when you're in troubles like this. And you'll see I'll tip my handles back and forth to try to keep the plow where it belongs. a little embarrassed to even be showing you myself plowing because I don't know, it just doesn't make my horses look good, and it surely doesn't make me look good as far as having the ability to plow. And at this stage, I can honestly say we really don't have that ability to plow very good. But I guess one reason why I wanted to show you this is I wanted to show you that, you know, when you start off trying to plow with a walking plow, it might not be very pretty. And a lot of people will do it with two people, which is actually a good way to get started. One person to drive the horses and one person to run the plow. But after a while with practice, you can do it all by yourself, and it's actually quite enjoyable job because Buck is so much better than the furrow. At this point, I decided I'm just going to go around and around the field, and I didn't want to start the plow on the other end because I didn't want a dead furrow on the center of my garden, and I knew I'd just be using this plow for a while and I'd be going back to my other plow. So just to get a little more practice in, I decided I'm just going to swing around empty and then come back down through the furrow. A friend of mine on YouTube that I've been watching, the channel's called Trinity Dairy, and they have a wonderful channel of a wonderful family that has a tiny little dairy farm, and they milk cows. And if you're interested in small farms and family farms, you really should go check them out. But they have their father and or father-in-law has horses, and quite often they'll do a little video on him. And last summer he did a video of him using a walking plow in his garden, and he did a great job of plowing with horses. So if you're interested, go check that out. So here I'm adjusting the lines up a little bit more. Like I said, there's two different ways to hold the lines. One's up over your shoulder and around your waist, and the other one's just around your waist. And when you put it around your waist, you have a lot more leverage to hold your horses back if they're walking fast, but it's also a lot more dangerous if they were to stop fast by hitting a rock. It would pull you right into the plow really bad, whereas when it's over the shoulder, you can kind of tip your head and the lines go off you and you aren't so apt to get hurt. But you don't have the leverage as you do with behind your back. You can see right now with it behind my back, I'm really holding back on the horses, and they're going really slow, almost too slow right now. But it does help a lot as far as slowing them down. But like I said, it's not a safe way to plow. You need to have a really good pair of horses and pretty stone-free ground to do it that way.
Ha! 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 Chick! Oh! And careful with that. Careful.
As you can see, quite often I'm putting my left foot up on the land and my right foot down in the furrow, which is not the best way to be plowing. And I like to be plowing with both my feet in the furrow, and that's the most comfortable way to plow. But it's because I'm not doing very well that I'm not able to do that.
Cap stop. Cap stop. Cap hope. Ha. Cap stop. Cap stop. Ha. No. 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 Careful stop. Careful. Careful. Cap. Ah, there. Careful. Cap stop. Oh. Well, enough of that. I'm going to put this away and wait for a day when I got more time to play with this. I do think even these two could be taught to use a walking plow, although today they're fast and energetic, and which makes it only a lot harder. And my plow has not scoured properly, but I will clean it up and put some grease to it, so the next time I try, it'll be probably okay. And I might next time use Lady and Ken, maybe next fall, and do a little practicing with them. And like I said, I used to be pretty good with it, but it's kind of like a bicycle, you sort of remember, but it's not that great. Yes.
I was just wondering if, because the garden is a small area, it's a lot harder. It'd be a lot better in a bigger field.
In a lot of ways, because
you don't have to turn so much.
Exactly. We will get back to plowing with the white horse plow and just get this done, because I got a lot to do and I don't have time to play around with this, and it's just not as productive, as you can see, as my other plow is. But it'll still work up the garden fine. Actually, I've got a pretty good straight furrow. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things
The end is
and adjusting and a lot of things to talk about with a walking plow, but I'm just not going to do it today. So we'll get finished up, capped up.
Well, Jim's back at it with the white horse plow. Whoops, some sort of a plug up there.
Capped up, capped up. G. Chica. G. Chica. Yep. G. Back. G. Back. Yep. Back. What a difference. G. 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 G.
You like your white horse plow?
Careful.
I just love seeing the garden soil turned over. Yay! I may have said this last year, but starting fresh every year is so great with the garden. Hope springs eternal. Start over. Start fresh. New plans. Thanks, guys. Doing an awesome job. So I'm pleased how close Jim got to my new raised beds. And here, this raised bed, Jim put barnyard soil in it. And oh my goodness, look at the weeds. What I'm doing is waiting for stuff to come up. As you can see here, here's some radish. Radish is coming up. And there's lettuce in here, but I gotta let it get a little bit bigger before I pull out the weeds. It's gonna be nice, rich soil, and it's gonna grow great, but there's tons of weed seed from the hay and whatnot in here. It's mostly composted cow manure, but not composted enough, apparently. I've got my blueberries over here, and they've got flowers on them. I have amended the soil to make it more acidic. I will have to keep an eye on that, though. I don't think we normally have that acidic of soil. Got some pumpkins coming up here, and I'm not going to make this mistake of leaving them here because they overtake everything, and you don't know what you have. Over here we have our strawberry bed, and it's coming along pretty good. There's some blossoms coming, and I'm picking them off this year because they will make better, stronger plants for next year. I also wanted to just show you, these are my perennial beds, and I put some composted or composting corn silage on there for bedding or for mulch, and it's worked really well because it amends the soil. I'm interested to hear
yep.
from everybody. What are your garden plans for this year?
Ooh.
Are you gardening using horses at all? Are you market gardeners? Do you have a little tub in your backyard apartment or do you live in an apartment and have a tub where you grow things in? Or what? Are you gardening? Aren't you gardening? What are your plans for this year? Many of you are way underway and ahead of us. Some of you are behind us. I'm just curious. There's something wonderful about growing things. I can't get over the color change in these horses since spring has come. They almost look like bays.
Gee, over there.
Jim always says that all the tight turns nerve the horses up a lot.
Gee.
But they still seem to be doing really well.
Careful.
I smell mint. There's mint at the end of the garden and he ran into it. Smells so good.
How many more passes?
I mean, you could call that good if you wanted to,
Let's try
or
and straighten it up a little bit.
okay.
Oh, you know, actually, maybe I will call it quits.
I like this,
Gee.
you know, border.
Gee. Oh. We'll call it quits there because the last plow through, for some reason, it didn't dig very deep, and it's actually going to be harrow up easier that way. So yeah, we're good.
It looks really super.
Maybe even by tonight I can just get. We'll see what we got left for
excited.
horsepower.
Thank you so much.
You bet. G-step.